Welcome back to Hardcore Ultimate Iron Man. Starting off, as we often do, with a level AFK 75 range. That's a pretty interesting level. 75. Anything we unlock at 75? Probably. Or not, since they've changed the levels of everything. Just using the always convenient wiki level up table. 75 range is required for Pegation Boots, the Heavy Ballista, Toxic Blowpipe, and Twisted Buckler. We have none of those things, but 75 range is still a level. So that's good. And now, for what we're actually doing this episode. I'm getting back into doing some more Slayer. And when I do that, and a huge number of other things, I get clue scrolls. And I want to complete some clue scrolls here. So I'm going to make it as easy as I can on myself by filling many stashes. To do that, we're going to be making tons of planks, buying tons of nails, like all the nails, basically. 2 coins each, not a huge deal. Starting with the easy clues. So for this we need a whole bunch of regular planks. So we have to chop down regular trees over here near the sawmill. Getting over here with the always convenient hot air balloon system. And we're going to be doing a few stashes per inventory. Made a little more space here by storing more stuff in the loot bag. And then we need to run all over the game, buying and making just tons and tons of random things. So that'll be something. Also going to need a saw and hammer. That's useful. There's going to be an optimal order for getting all these things. But I'm just going to throw myself at it, choosing things in kind of an order. Just absolutely spamming through teleports. For this first set, I got a bunch of the colorful gnome outfits that were easy to get the other pieces quickly. Starting here in Sears Village with a desert shirt, green robe bottoms, and a second steel axe that I need to go get. I'm going to chop all the logs with a steel axe, and that's not a huge deal. Would be better if I got a rune axe, but we're also kind of low on money. So we will see if this even makes it through this entire stash units idea. There is the first one. And we have everything we need for 2 more. At the Remington Crossroads, we have a green hat, cream top, and leather chaps. And in the Lumbridge Wheatfield, we've got a blue robe top, turquoise robe bottoms, and oak shortbow. Theme for this next set, leather. Up here at the lumberyard, put a hard leather body, leather chaps, and a bronze axe. Keep LaFay gets a coif, iron plate body, and leather gloves. And the Alcarid Mine gets a very appropriate desert top, along with leather gloves and leather boots. And more leather. At the Exam Center, white apron, green boots, and leather gloves. At the no longer duel arena, iron chain body, leather chaps, and a coif. And my butler decided to come over here to Mudskipper Point, where we store a black cape, leather chaps, and a steel mace. Next up, more leather, except this time with studs in it. In the Drainer Market, we got studded chaps, iron kite, steel long. In Drainer Manor, right next to the fountain full of dead fish, we got an iron plate body, studded chaps, and a bronze full helm. And at the Ardoin Zoo, we've got a studded body, bronze plate legs, and a staff that I bought from Zaf. A big pile of only metal items. So here at the gem shop in Falador, we got a mithril pickaxe, black plate body, iron kite shield. Falador party room gets a steel full helm, steel plate body, and iron plate skirt. And the limestone mine gets bronze plate legs, steel pickaxe, and steel med. Next up, tiaras and ham. Stole a bunch of stuff from the ham, dropped everything I didn't need, made some tiaras, had to go get talismans from abyssal leeches. Also, making the body talisman was the first time I've ever been to the body altar. So that's something. Just here, by the Grand Exchange, put in a pink skirt, pink robe top, and the body tiara. At Aubrey's Rune Shop, there's only 2 items. The air tiara and a staff of water. And all the way at the top of the Ardoin Mill, blue robe top, ham robes, and a regular tiara with no rune. Ham and wizard stuff for this set. In the Varrock Palace Library, we're putting in green robe top, ham robe, and an iron warhammer. The Tamerley Stone Circle here gets a blue wizard hat, bronze two-hander, and the ham boots. And the Crossroads, south of the Sinclair Mansion, get a leather cowl, iron sim, and a blue wizard robe, which you can only get, realistically, by murdering the wizards. The rest of the easy stashes all have jewelry components, so I'm going to have to make all the jewelry. Starting here at the Wizard's Tower Bridge with an Iron Med helm, emerald ring, and white apron. Outside the Shack to Xanaris, we got a bronze dagger, iron full helm, and a simple gold ring. Draenor Crossroads needs an iron chain, sapphire ring, and a longbow. Remington Mine gets a regular gold necklace, gold ring, and a bronze spear. Outside the Legends Guild, iron plate legs, emerald amulet, oak longbow. At the Fishing Guild, emerald ring, sapphire amulet, bronze chain, and lastly, near the boat to Entrana, not going there, we have a coif, steel plate skirt, and sapphire necklace. So that should be every single easy stash unit filled. And there are a lot of them. 29, looks like. So, since we have all these put together so nicely, I'm gonna go do a few easy clues. Because that was kind of the point of this whole thing. There is 5 easy caskets. Stealing from ham members when you have 99 thieving and a thieving cape. Very, very easy. So let's see what we get. White firelighters. Regular black items. More black items. An amulet of magic. Studded body. And a bob shirt. Well, that's fun. We need a bob shirt for something. There's a other stash unit. Yep. That is a elite stash unit, that bob shirt. We need to get a rune kite shield for that one though, so that's useful for later. Should be able to store this in the house. Costume is here. Since it's a bob shirt, it's going to be individually storable, unlike some of the other things. So we can just put that in here. And when we want to make that elite stash unit, we are good to go. A good get from the easy clues. But now, we can move on to mediums. And all the stash units that entails. Everything for medium stashes is more difficult, more expensive. Oak planks instead of normal. Green d'hide, which is the theme of this set, instead of like studded and regular leather. Need to make multiple steel pieces, ruby jewelry. It's a bit. First one we're making here, up on the gnome agility course here. A steel kite shield, green d'hide chaps, and a ring of forging. Making use of the very convenient grapple up here into the observatory. Here we put a mithril chain body, green d'hide chaps, and ruby amulet. In the training camp, green d'hide body and chaps, plus a steel square. Catherby Bank, maple longbow, green d'hide chaps, and an iron med helm, and a bank pin. And Taibo Wenai Village gets another set of green d'hide chaps, ring of dueling, and a mithril med helm. That is all of the green dragonhide medium stash units, but not the last dragonhide stash units. We also need blue. And we can't just buy that in a shop, so we need to go and make it. And that blue d'hide goes here in the Tsar City weapon shop. Steel longsword, blue d'hide body, and mystic gloves. And then we also have some odds and ends for 2 other stashes. The mausoleum item that you need to go through Fenkenstrain's experiment cave to get to only needs 2 items. Mithril plate skirt, and maple longbow. And the Edgeville General Store needs a very easy brown apron, leather boots, and leather gloves. Dragons may be done, but we have other creatures to hunt. Snakes and snails for this set of stashes. Here in Yanil, we got a brown apron, adamant medium helmet, and snakeskin chaps. In the dig site, We've got a green hat, snakeskin boots, and an iron pickaxe. And the Shantae Pass has a spiky, pointed blue snell, which making one of those was a Mauritania easy task, so that was good. And a Staff of Air and Bronze Square. A bit more crafting. And we can put these in. Here at the Castle Wars Bank, Ruby Amulet, Mithril Scimitar, Team Cape. In the Catherby Range Shop, blue boots, hard leather body, and a silver sickle. And the Draenor Jail, adamant sword, sapphire amulet, adamant plate skirt. And then we just have things. Middle Canifus, green robe top, mithril plate legs, iron two-handed sword. The bridge to Barbarian Village. Purple gloves, steel kite shield, mithril full helm. And Niles has a fish for me. Fantastic. And at the Barbarian Agility course, steel plate body, maple short bow, and a team cape. With that, there are only 2 stash units left, but actually only 1. For whatever reason, there is a medium stash unit that has adamant boots requirement, but those are from gargoyles at 75 Slayer. So, whenever it was added, for whatever reason, it was not made required for Ironmen. You just can't get that step. Very strange. But while we don't need to get the adamant boots for that stash, we do need to get mithril. So that means jellies. Easily doable. Though, it will take a bit of time. Or maybe not. Who knows? Drop rates, all that. Instead of getting the item that we need for medium clues, we of course get a hard clue instead. Let's see if we can do this. We can at least start it. So we will see. And we got the casket. We did have to come over to the Abyss, but that is safe enough. Especially when it was going to be the last step there. So let us see what we get. Stuff I'd really be looking for would be a black D-high body and a magic longbow. But with the amount of cash we have right now, honestly, any alchables would just be great. We get an Armadillo plate skirt, a rune plate skirt, a Bandos page, and 2 magic short bows. Interesting. So we can do a little bit of stuff with that. The rune skirt and the short bows are just alchables, so that's fine. The Armadillo plate skirt is technically better than our rock shell legs that we have, just because it has 1 prayer bonus. Unfortunately, it is not as storable as the rock shell. We can put it in, but we won't be able to get it back out until we have a full set of armadillo trimmed rune armor, which is quite the tall order. But it's in there now, so theoretically in the future. And then also the page is new, so we can go to the lighthouse and put that in our Bandos book. Not that a Bandos book is particularly useful, but there is times where you need a full book of any type. So that puts us one page closer to that. Maybe. Either way, back to jellies. There they are. One pair of mithril boots. One in 128 here. And I've definitely killed more than that many jellies. But not a huge time investment. And that's the last difficult item we need here for the final medium stash. I also need a diamond to make a Ring of Life. Let's come over here to the Dorgish Khan Rich Chests, which was an elite task in Lumbridge and Draenor. And here we are, north of Mount Karum, for the final medium stash unit that we need. Mithril boots, adamant warhammer, and a Ring of Life. And while that is all of the medium stash units done, there are still two other things that we need in order to be able to complete anything medium clues can throw at us. We need to get 2 music tracks. One of which is over here at the Smoke Devil dungeon. We can enter and immediately leave without having any problems here. I'm going to enter anyway. And there is Devils May Care. Smoke Devils, in fact. And then the last medium clue scroll requirement. We need to do a quest. Technically, we don't need to finish it, but we might as well. We're doing Mountain Daughter. The quest technically doesn't start here, but we need to get into the mountain camp, and this guard is stopping us. We are not welcome. So, instead of taking no for an answer, we very obviously run around him and tie a rope to this boulder and climb down behind him. And somehow we get to keep our rope. Amazing. We're here in the nice and foggy, incredibly foggy mountain camp, talking to the chieftain. He seems to be a bit more receptive to us barging in here, because we have manners. I'm looking for a quest, or anything that you might need help with. I will do the trials to join your tribe, or whatever. Being a little bit more rude now. Let's try that again, shall we? Everybody here is a bit hostile, you know? They are solitary, and they don't really appreciate outlanders. So what are you guys doing up in the mountains, anyways? They left Releka to be closer to nature. They disagreed with how things are being done back in Releka. And they are very against magic. Especially the seer. Anyways, they don't recognize Releka and want nothing to do with them. So now they live out here in the mountains. They typically move around when the harsh land can no longer sustain them. But they've been here too long. Because this side of the mountain doesn't have as many trolls or dwarves. And his daughter has gone missing. They can't leave until they find her, obviously. I will search for her. They're not going to employ me. I'm just going to do this of my own free will here. We can talk to the people, and they can talk to us a little bit. So we will just go and find his daughter. There's a muddy rock, some mud. Take some mud. Never know when you might need some mud. And we'll take a pole from over here in the goat pen. Looking for his daughter. We're going to head to the lake. Slap some mud on a tree, because of course we do. Making it easy enough to climb over. Jump on this little island here, where we use this bent pole to pole vault across this clump of rocks. And then put a plank across these flat stones. And we are out in the middle of the lake, where we can hear a voice coming from the water, saying our name. Ain't that something? Sure, random voice. I'll listen to whatever you say. They're all around us. They're a spirit. The voice of Asleaf, the daughter of Hamel. So, we found her. Good job, us. But this is only her voice. She's dead. An echo of the past. So, what can we do for you, echo of the past? She's very concerned with the tribe here, and we need to help them out, or they are doomed. They have isolated themselves too much, and they don't know when to ask for help. It was a bitter parting from Merleka. So they're still bad blood. We need to bring them back together. And that's something I can do. And also, since the camp hasn't been moved for too long, they're running out of food. So we need to find a new food supply. I can do that too. Peace and food. Sounds like a pretty good idea. And now, we can return to the shore. Didn't even have to jump over there. Although I guess we would have to have made a pretty big jump to get to this tree. Either way, now we're back. We can start looking for peace and food. Hello, Chief. I found your daughter. She's dead. And he is not happy or going to accept that. So instead of following down that, we're going to go talk about Merleka. They hate them. Not really. They just disapprove. They have a stricter interpretation of the rules. So, how about we make some peace here? They're not technically at war, but he has, in fact, sent a representative to Releka to improve relations here, set up trade. His daughter always wanted that, and it seemed like the right thing to do now. Unfortunately, we haven't heard from Svitty, the representative, for quite a few days now. So we need to go and check on him. Make sure everything is going well. And also, the food supplies. You're running out of food, aren't you? Who told you that? Your dead daughter. Not telling him that, though. They would have moved on by now if they weren't still looking for her. And it is becoming a problem. If we can get them a new food supply, that would be fantastic. So we're going to talk to Jockle here. He's got all the goats, so we should have some information about food. There's not much left here, or even places for him to bring the goats. So he is in charge of the food supply. And he does have one idea. That is a certain kind of fruit that grows in mountains. The white pearl. It grows on mountains in some of the most difficult circumstances. But they've not found any in this area. So we need to go and search for it. So we just need to find them. Now instead of trying to find peace and food, we have more specific goals. Find a messenger and a fruit. The messenger is going to be along the way to Releka. Just hanging out in the forest. See if we can spot him here. He wanders around a bit. There he is. What are you doing? Aren't you supposed to be going to Releka? He hasn't even been there yet. He's concerned. He's always been told that the people of Releka were no good. So we're going to need to get some kind of confirmation that he'll be safe if he goes to Releka. And we can do that. A guarantee from the chieftain. Doable. Very doable. Hello, Brunt. I don't need a seal of passage this time. I just need a seal of different kind of passage for a representative coming to Releka. A guarantee of safety, which he will give us once they return the ancient rock. It didn't have any special powers or anything, but it was still symbolic. They took it when they left to the mountains, and they would like it back. And that's a pretty reasonable ask, I would say. Since we are teleporting back to get closer to the mining camp, figured we would take a pit stop up here to White Wolf Mountain to pick a white pearl fruit from this thorny bush. If you don't wear gloves, it hurts you. And then we eat it to get the seed out. We could have just given them the fruit and they could have figured it out, but no, we need to be special about it. Also, we got to eat some fruit, so that's also a win for us. Hello, Chieftain. Back again. About the food supply. Here is 1 seed for a white pearl fruit. It grows well in the mountains, so that should work. And then about your representative, I need to get that rock back. The ancient ceremonial rock. Yep. And that's a no. There's nothing we can do to get that rock. So we're just going to take matters into our own hands. They've got a guard saying guard over the rock hut. Just a big fun rock here. Nothing particularly special. So we're just going to make sure no one's paying attention and take a chunk and put it in my pockets. That's not the rock, is it? No. Duh. Look how much smaller it is. Alright. Just nobody go inside there. Don't worry about it. Back to Relica. I got your rock. It's totally the rock. Don't worry about it. Seems smaller than the legends. Yeah, it's only part of the rock. I split it in 2. Problem solving. And honestly, that has some symbolism here. Sharing the rock, making peace. This can work. This can work. There's our safety guarantee. Here is your guarantee. So now, you can head to Relica and speak to the chieftain. So that is both problems solved. So let's go back and talk to the spirit. Hello, spirit. I have done what you asked. And they can sense that it is true. So, anything else you got for me? Anything else you want me to do? We need to solve the main problem here. Her father cannot accept that she's dead. He knows it, but won't accept it. We need to convince him. And then once he's convinced, everyone else can follow and they can move on. And how are we going to do that? All we know is that she was attacked by a creature or animal while sitting by the lake, and it dragged her off. And that's all the help that we can get. So, we're going to purposefully go in here. So we can go look at this cave. Going in here with our axe and entering the cave entrance. And here is the music track we needed for the medium clue scrolls. Cave of Beasts. But we're so close to the end, we might as well finish what we started. Here we meet the Kendall. Disturbing his slumber, it is me, whom many legends are sung. Coming to your cave to kill you. Oh yeah, I'm no one special. Come to pay respects with my blood. Like a sacrifice? To Kendall, the guardian of the mountain, god of the northern lands. You look like a guy in a bear suit. And I figured it out. So, what are you doing? Pretending to be a god? Preying on the local population? They fear gods. So he's pretending to be one. One of their legends. And he mostly leaves them alone. Except for all these corpses here. He had to eat when there was no trolls or anything around. And here we get the big twist. The cave entrance we came through has been blocked off for years. And he hasn't killed a human since then. More than 10 years ago, he did kill a woman over there. So I want to have that corpse to convince her father. Right over there, with the dress. He didn't eat her because she was too beautiful. Still killed her though. But it was too late at that point. So I need those remains to return to her father. But he's not going to go for that. They'll figure out he's no god, and the entire tribe is going to come in here to take him on. Or we can just skip straight to me killing him with a dragon scimitar and protect from melee. This also opens up this boss for Nightmare Zone, for what that's worth. And we get a bear head, which is also fun. So yeah, one corpse of a woman. Returning to the chieftain with not so great news. Instead of starting with the fact that we've got his daughter here, we're going to talk about the strange bear creature, the Kendall. They knew of it, and that's why they planted the trees there. They don't want to mess with a god. He killed your daughter. Also, he was a guy in a bear suit. And you didn't mention she'd been missing for more than 10 years? 14, in fact. He never said she wasn't missing for 14 years. I've killed the Kendall. And everyone here has made mistakes. Them for believing he was a god. Him for impersonating a god. We've delivered justice. Also, here's her body. And he can tell that it's true. And that also confirms that we were speaking to her spirit. So we should bury her on that island. And we should do the honors. It needs to be a proper burial. So we need some of her possessions. Along with the dress she's wearing, we need one more. And we should bury her in a traditional cairn. It's like a longboat, but made of rocks for the burial. Grab 5 rocks and a possession, and we're good to go. She never had many things in the first place, and nothing survived the past 14 years. If anyone has anything, Ragnar might. So we'll talk to him once we pick up some rocks. Muddy rock on the ground. We need to grab 5 of them. They respawn pretty quickly. We just grab 5 here. Easy enough. And then Ragnar is up here, next to the tree. You think maybe he could have heard her voice from the shimmering, shining pool in the middle there? But it seems to only work all the way out in the middle, and jumping across all this stuff is not something people typically would do. And he does, in fact, have something we can use. It was a necklace that he was going to give to her back before she went missing. So it's technically hers. It can be a parting gift. Now we can do a proper burial. So, one last time. Heading to the middle of the lake. Shimmying across the branch. Pole vaulting across the rocks. And using the plank. Out here, in the middle of the middle island, we can bury her. Put on the necklace, and build a cairn. Quest complete. 2 quest points, 2,000 per XP, 1,000 attack XP, and a bear head. We don't need a bear head. Does look fun though. So with that out of the way, let's go do at least 1 medium clue. Well, there is 2 medium casket rewards. All I have time for right now. Also got a maze random. Got a ton of chaos and death runes, so that's fun. Let's see what we get. Green d'hide body. Some runes and coins. And a Saradomin page. Okay. That can go in a book, so that's something. Don't think we have very many pages yet. Yeah, it's our second for the Saradomin, so there you go. Halfway done to a Saradomin book, technically. But that is the easy and medium clue scrolls taken care of. But there's still lots to do for hard clues. Next time. Goodbye.